Ira, welcome to the show.
Well,
How's everything going?
everything is good. Thanks for having me. What a wonderful 4 or 5 weeks of weather. It's been wonderful. But
Absolutely.
I'm not sure where we start. Do we start with the 0-5 team, with Mark Sanchez, with the sex scandal? We got. If I had the financial means, I could start a newspaper because they just they give you gifts every day to write stories. It's unbelievable.
You know what's insane? Because we talked about it in the summer when Aaron Glenn, we said that you weren't hearing anything coming out of the building. Well, now it's coming from within, outside the buildings now, and also inside, apparently.
Yeah, because you know what it is, Mac, and I'm just being sarcastic. You could you know the game when you hit with the frogs and you hit one frog and another one pops up and
Oh,
you
like
throw down like
whack-a-mole.
yeah, exactly. And Glenn had most of the frogs heads down,
hmm
but there's there's a there's something in that building that no matter how many heads you keep down, eventually they're going to overtake you, and the evil gets the better of the good.
It does. It's unbelievable. There's something every day here, and I thought things were even though we didn't win the first game. I said, you know what, there was some competitiveness there. You saw a little bit of you saw life in this team, and now the team just looks completely defeated. The players, they've quit on Aaron Glenn. That's what it looks like.
And that's the take that I have, and you're right. And I was excited after week one. I was excited about Fields. I liked the way they competed, and even though it was heartbreaking loss. But when I thought about it, the first thought that came to my mind was, well, you know what? Let's see what happens week 2 and 3, because the Steelers didn't have any game tape on the Jets. The Jets didn't have any game tape on the Steelers. And then once game tape was out there, people knew what to expect from the Jets. And of course, this coaching staff, no matter what the situation is, they don't change any game plans or any in-game, adjustments. So it's very, boy, if I was an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator, I could get up on a Sunday morning and talk to the team. This is what you have to do, and this is how you beat the Jets.
Yeah, exactly. It's so easy. It just even look. It doesn't even look like a professional sports team, and it's been this way for years now. Ever since Rex Ryan left, and you could say his last year too. But it's been all a disaster since that after that period. And we look back, and we can even get into the Sanchez story. The Sanchez was our last glimmer of hope that we look back on. Remember those days we went to back-to-back AFC Championship games, and now when we look back on that, now we're going to be looking back on this whole scandal that's been going on with Sanchez.
It's and I feel better. I mean, I'm not friends with him or anything, but I got to know him a little.
hmm
A good guy. I don't know what the story is. I don't know what the truth is, but when I heard about it, and as every day, little by little, things are coming out, I just can't imagine what went on where he got enraged to do the things that it looked like he did.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The photos of the driver, the elderly man, the driver in the hospital bed with, I think he was stabbed in the mouth or the cheek or something. I saw it was just,
Yeah, it's crazy, and now I was reading, he's like, disfigured for the rest of his life, and the knife went through his chin into his tongue, and he beat. I'm saying to myself, what in the world was going on here? And eventually the truth will come out,
hmm
but clearly it doesn't look very promising for Sanchez.
No, it doesn't. It looks like he might have to do some time. I know he's already been arrested and everything, and it's just crazy. You can't even make it up. This is stuff that you
No,
can't. I really
no,
believe in the
no.
name if cursed now. Don't you really think that there's something there?
I hate to go down that road, so I'll take the high road on that one. But I understand. I truly do understand it. And you know what's really amazing about Sanchez? 20 years from now, the butt fumble is not going to exist because
No.
this will be the big story about him.
Oh, it will be. Yeah, this is going to be something when you look back at the Ray Lewis case. It's always going to have a state. The Ben Roethlisberger case. You're always going to be looking at these football controversies. Michael Vick. He's going to be right up there with them now.
Yeah, but I think this one tops it all because I don't think there's any way for him. Once again, it has to go to court. There has to be stuff, but the allegations and the way it looks right now, I don't know how he's possibly not going to spend some time in jail and probably lose half the money, if not all the money he made.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and it's just it's unbelievable. When I read, because when the report broke, I said, I thought that he was just stabbed. I thought something happened.
Yeah.
He was just stabbed, and then the story came out. He was the instigator. I was like, what happened? It's just it's crazy.
And you, I mean, supposedly he was drinking or whatever he was doing. I mean, you got a professional athlete, 35 years, 36 years, 38 years old, 6'2", 6'3", I guess 230, 240. And he, regardless of the situation, what are you beating up on a 70-year-old man? What
exactly. He couldn't have done that in his last couple seasons with the Jets. How about take out that anger against the teams that were intercepting you? It's just unbelievable when you look at and then I'm sure you read about it. He's doing wind sprints. They said he was doing wind sprints in the alley. Oh my God.
Maybe he thought he had a shot. If Fields and Taylor, get hurt this year, maybe he thought he could have a comeback with the Jets towards the end of the year.
Maybe. It really is just unbelievable, and there it goes. Because that was my only glory days of me. Because I mean, you saw the Vinny years, you saw Namath win. My only thing I can claim to was this two Sanchez years, and now it's tainted.
Well, it's funny when I take a walk with my wife. There's a guy around the corner that has a huge Mark Sanchez poster in his garage. And he always has his garage open. He's doing some type of work all the time. I'm wondering now if that Sanchez picture is going to stay up in his garage or not.
They're going to take it down. Yeah, I had Sanchez posters when I was younger, his jersey. It's unfortunate. It really, I can't believe it.
I'll tell you, I'm so embarrassed right now, and once again, I love this organization,
mm-hmm.
but I'm just so embarrassed of what's going on the field and off the field. I have a flag that I put up opening day, and I take it down usually before the playoffs if we don't make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking of taking the flag down before the Denver game. What's the point of it flying out there for?
Yeah, there's no point. And we're not going to win in Denver. This is the team that they have problems with constantly, especially with the injuries. I mean, at least Elijah Vera Tucker won't be there to get injured this time.
That's true. That's true.
It's unbelievable.
That's true. I mean, once again, anything can happen. But first of all, I looked on the Jets website today. And and I understand that they're trying to, do good by the London fans, but you're 0-5. You just made a trip to London, okay? Why are they in a bagel place in somewhere in London serving and handing out Jet special bagels? Don't they have better? Shouldn't the players be just focused on maybe winning a football game and not really getting involved with the fans down in London?
I agree.
I mean, if I was the head coach, there's no shot. I wouldn't even have the equipment manager giving out bagels.
No.
You're here, practice, go to sleep. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, especially with an 0-5 record. They're I thought they were going to be more disciplined than that. And you hear the players are saying, you could feel Aaron Glenn's passion and he's always yelling at the team. Well, it doesn't resonate. You know what? We should have brought Rex back. Remember we were talking about that before we got Glenn. We were thinking about it, and Rex was all pumped up talking about it. Maybe we should have brought him back.
It probably, in hindsight, it was probably the right move to make.
Mm-hmm.
I hope Glenn proves me wrong. I'll still support him for the rest of the year,
mm-hmm.
but my gut and my mind tells me he's not the answer.
No.
After 5 games, he's not the answer.
Another coach and another GM. I mean, when is it going to be right? It's just it's constant.
Don't know. I had this conversation, and Moogie, forget it. He's in the witness protection.
You never see him ever.
You never see him. I think he is way over his head. I think I could step in and do a better job than he's done.
Yeah.
And to be very honest with you, I think Rex, if they had hired Rex, and whether I can't even say Tannenbaum because Tannenbaum got all these guys jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm down on him right now. So it would have to be Rex and a very strong personnel guy if that exists. And you know what? my friend asked me this afternoon, what if we go 0-17 or 2-15 and he fires Glenn? Where do you go? So I said, well, you got Rex out there and you got John Gruden.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if John Gruden's getting blackballed by the league. Didn't he sue the NFL or something?
Yeah, he sued the NFL, and there was the allegations with I think it was like harassment of the cheerleaders, and then there were some racist emails or something. I don't know. I'm trying to stay away from much. We have enough scandal right now, so I'd rather have Rex Ryan.
so scratch. Yeah, so Rex is the only guy out there, unless maybe there's some Pee Wee football coaches out on Staten Island. I could start scouting to see if they make adjustments in games, because I don't think I've seen a Jet coach make adjustments probably since Rex Ryan.
No, it's horrible. I just can't believe it. It's the same thing every year. It never changes. And, we always say this every year. They're because I know you told me they're as bad as they've ever been. It's like this every year. And then I know there's already analysts. I'm sure you've seen a lot of them already comparing Glenn to Kotite. We compare every coach to Kotite in the past 3 coaches with Salah, Gaze, and Bowles.
Well, it's funny. I thought about this. And I know Kotite had his moments where he had some really embarrassing games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Rob Moore used to fall asleep under a tree in Hofstra during practice. So, Kotite had his, he was right up there. But I think if this continues to trend in the direction it's going, I think Glenn might surpass Kotite. Kotite could be put in the Jets Hall of Fame if Glenn continues to go the way he's going.
It's bad. It really is. And you knew they were going to lose the Buccaneer game because they left too much time on the clock when they ran the ball back. And the defense was the defense is horrible.
I didn't. You're right. Everything you say is right. But when McDonald blocked that and took it in, I thought the Bucs were going to just cash it in. I thought they were done.
Wow. Yeah, I had a feeling. I said there's too much time on the clock. I said I just had a feeling that they were going to come back and win because the defense isn't any good. Sauce Gardner's locked into this long contract now. A lot of these, Lazard, Quinnen Williams, these guys, they're all locked into these contracts and they can't get rid of them, and they're not doing anything.
Well, how about Gardner? He's not even he's not even like standing up and saying, I got to do better. Don't make excuses. It's just we discussed this, I think, in some previous shows. I would have never given him that contract.
No, never. I wouldn't have. Who I'm really starting to feel bad, even though he had a fumble on Sunday, is Breece Hall. He's really gotten the shaft because Braylon Allen, they were putting him above him before he got hurt, and he had a good game prior to the fumble. He was playing well, and it's crazy.
But what's funny, when I rewatched the game last night because I forgot to sitting at the game, he had fumbled about 4 or 5 carries earlier on that same possession.
Wow!
It was somewhere near midfield where he was ruled down, and then 3 or 4 plays later he fumbles again. So, it's if they're you're gonna. I don't see how they're gonna lose to the Broncos. They'll be 0-6, and I think the London trip 0-6, team not believing in the head coach. I think they lose to the Panthers.
I think so too.
So I think they're 0-7, and then my boy Flacco's now with the Bengals. I could see Flacco putting up 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. So we might be 0-8 instead of 2-6 at the bye.
Yeah.
And would you be shocked if they trade Hall? It wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't. It really wouldn't at this point. And I think, I think they need to do. There needs to be a complete overhaul again. They need to get a new coach in here, a new GM, a whole new roster.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Even if they go 3-14, 4-13, whatever, they're going to win a couple of games at some point. They're going to win a couple of games.
Yeah.
There's no way to go on winless. But to me, I don't care whether they're 3-14 or 5-5. It's just the last 4 games we've watched the same. Nothing's gotten better.
No,
it's the same mental mistakes, the same physical mistakes, and it's like, okay, the scores get respectably. I don't know if you want to call 37-22 respectable, but they get these 2-3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter because it's garbage time. But take away the fourth quarter of the last couple of games, they're losing these games 30-6, 30-10, 30-3. I mean, they're getting blown out every one of these games.
It's awful. And this defense, I know you saw he's the first rookie head coach to be 0-5 and not have any takeaways. That's a big issue. Even with Salah, at least the defense was competitive, and we were actually ranked like number 1 at one point. And as soon as he was gone, the team sank. And even with Salah, the team never had any turnovers. And it just continues on and on.
I just don't understand it. I really don't understand it.
I miss the Rex Ryan defenses. I really do, because you know what? Like the years with Gino and even the years with Sanchez, they carried us, and that was the positive to watch. And a lot of times when we were losing those games with Gino and things like that was because they were so tired from playing their hearts out that they just gave it up at the end because the offense wasn't doing anything.
That's right. And you know, the one thing with Rex, at least if he had this roster, and this roster has holes in it, let's not kid ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But at least he would be smart enough to scheme things as you face different opponents and as games play out, where the defense actually might make some stops.
Mm-hmm.
And Rex had his games where he gave up some big drives at the end and lost. I think all coaches do.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's perfect. But I never expected this from Glenn in the first 5 games.
No.
And I really don't see where it's going to get better. I just don't.
I don't. They need someone as a savior to really come in here, like a real Bill Parcells. Someone needs a clone Parcells. They need someone to come in here and clean this up.
But that's the conversation I had today. And the only guy that I could come up with is Gruden, and I don't think Gruden's ever getting a job in the NFL again if he even wants one.
Yeah, I don't see it, especially with the controversies, and they need a big time coach here. And how about the Patriots really turning things around, beating the Bills? It's just we can never get any ground once the other teams in the division are rebuilding. Now we're still on the ground.
You know the mistake they made. You know who they should have hired. I can't think of his name. The head coach who was with the Dolphins who got canned.
Flores. I was just thinking that earlier. Mm-hmm.
That's the guy they should have hired.
Yeah. Yep.
That's because he was a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
He did have some success, and he seems very much a disciplinarian like Aaron Glenn. And I think probably that's the guy they should have hired.
Yeah, they should have. And I just don't get it. I mean, Aaron Glenn, now it just feels like almost a nepotism hire because they're cronies because he was with the organization. They just brought him in. And the Lions, it's just, we saw those late games, how the Lions choked away in the playoffs last year. And now it's just really being an all-time thing in these past 4 games.
I know. I think right now, if Aaron Glenn got dressed and he replaced Stevens at the other corner spot, I think even though he's Glenn's in his 50s,
mm-hmm.
he might be able to do a better job than Stevens is doing right now.
Probably, yeah. We really because I have some close people that follow the Ravens and the Ravens fans. And they told me, yeah, he's horrible. He was like the weakest link on the Ravens last year, and we said, yeah, let's sign this guy. It's horrible.
And we haven't even talked about. I mean, Nick Folk, he's money.
Oh yeah, we should never got rid of him.
No, but we haven't talked about special teams with the return, with the fumbles, and guys catching on the 2-yard line. And
Williams.
It's like, what are they doing all week there? I mean, what are they doing in practice? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and they've been cutting people, and you know what? They're not cutting enough. They should be cutting more because they're not going to have enough players.
They just re-signed Williams to the practice squad. Really?
I didn't even see that. Wow, that's unbelievable.
They brought him back. It's mind-boggling. And you know what's funny? I don't mean the word funny, but it's actually sad. But I approach these games now, and I don't even think about winning. I just want to either go to a game or turn the game on, and I want 3 hours of competitive football,
mm-hmm.
and whatever happens. Just let me be entertained for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they lose, I don't care anymore. Just give me a good, close, fight hard game, and show that you're getting the mental part. You're cutting down on your mistakes. At this point, winning and losing is not even in my mind. It's just cutting down on these buffoon games that they're putting out there.
It's horrible. And you could have turned the game off on Sunday when it was 17-3. You knew then the game was over.
Let me tell you, when they settled for a field goal to make it 3-0, I knew the game was over.
Yeah.
Because I knew they weren't beating the Cowboys by kicking field goals.
No, and how about when they kicked the meaningless field goal to put them with only 6 points on the board? That meant nothing.
And what was it? Was it 2 games ago that he went? Was it this game or the Miami game on 3rd and 6? He ran the ball up the middle. Was it? I forget which game it was. It's because every game seems like the same game. Nothing. It's the same script.
It is.
And now they're saying all these quarterbacks coming out. Not that we picked the right one anyway, or we'd have the right person here to groom one. But now they're saying they're not as good as people expected them to be, and it's like, I mean, and what are you going to keep Aaron Glenn? If I was Woody Johnson, and let's say we go 4-13, okay? I'm sitting there and say, okay, we have to finally get the quarterback. We got to get the quarterback. Am I going to trust Glenn and Moogie to, first of all, pick the right quarterback, and number 2, to groom him? No.
Nope.
So to me, if they can, both of these guys at the end of the year, whether they go 0-17 or 4-13, I don't care. I want to start fresh.
I do too. Just hit the restart button again, and it's a never-ending cycle. It's just over and over and over. And I've never seen anything like it. They're definitely the worst team in football. Even the Browns they've made the playoffs recently. Even though I think that they made one of probably the worst decision in their franchise by getting rid of Baker Mayfield. I think that was horrible. And
you know this is going to happen. Whatever our record is, when we play the Browns beginning of November at home, whoever, I don't even know who the starter is for the Browns, but Shador's number 2 because Flacco's off the team, right? The starter's going to be hurt, and Shador will get his first start against the Jets and rip us up.
Yeah,
and just like many other teams, we could have drafted him 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, we could have. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And the same thing with Dart. I know, he had a rookie quarterback game this past Sunday, but he still put up some good numbers at some point, right? There's another guy we passed up on.
Yeah,
and it's really sad. It really is sad. And I think that guy, whoever we want to come in here and take over this organization, I can't believe we're even talking about, gutting out the organization again. It's only week 5.
I know. Yeah.
I don't even think I've ever done that before.
No.
It's 5 games.
No.
Never.
I've never. No. Even with Salah, we would talk about when is he going to be gone if this continues and things like that. But never the whole organization. This is, I don't know. It's even worse than what it was.
And it's funny because Woody said he would have patience. He's not going to get involved in all this stuff, right? So wouldn't it just be, just because he wants to stick to his words, he's going to let this go on for 2 years? Could you imagine I'm already, I wish this season was over already.
I do
can't
too.
Believe it. So we got 12 games left this year, and chances are we got 7. So we got 29 more games left with this regime. And if I woke up tomorrow morning and 2 years were gone and the 29 games were gone, and they told me they were both fired, I'd be very content.
Yeah, they're definitely, they have to go. I think we've even though we've seen 5 games, it's been enough. If this is what it's going to continue to be, which I think it probably will be because this team it looks defeated, I think it's over.
And you know what? I mean, they are. And you know what you're going to hear? Like I said, they're going to win their share of games, okay? And then at the end of the year, okay, well, they got over the hump. They're showing a little progress. They put some wins together. He had a depleted roster. It was an evaluation season. This is how they're going to spin it. Next year, we're going to see, the team really grow. But then I mean, if you're running a business and have to make a business decision, it goes back to what I said 10 minutes ago. I'm not letting this present regime draft my future.
No. It's awful. They needed. I'm gonna say it. They need a new stadium. They need a new owner. They need so much. They got to get rid of everyone. Even Woody, he's got to go. They need someone to come in to buy it. Maybe Steve Cohen from the Mets or something. They need someone to come in to change this, because when you look at the Jets, and I've had a lot of conversations about it, even because we could talk about. I know we talked about the Knicks and the Jets making a deal to not win or go to a championship in so long. They signed the same contract, but at least with the Knicks and even the Mets, they show signs of hope, where the Jets, they stay in the same position and don't do anything.
Well, you know what's so bad is that people like, my age, 10 years younger, a couple of years older, they have tickets for years and years and years. Basically, everybody I've spoken to, they've had it. They're done.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you the truth, I'm on the fence, but he's going to send out his invoices in another couple of weeks for next year. And there's a very good chance there's going to be an increase again.
Oh, it's coming.
Right. And if it is, I think I'm going to cash it in. I think I'm going to give up my tickets.
Wow. I'm not surprised.
I haven't made a definite decision, but I'm leaning in that direction, only because I'm so sick and tired of going to games and people, you never see the same people in the section.
Mm-hmm.
And, once in a while, I go, what you pay? They're paying half the price that I'm paying.
Mm-hmm.
So what am I doing?
Yeah. No, I get it. And plus, when people go, they're not even fans. They're fans of other teams. They're on their phones the whole time. It's all about betting. And it's not even, it's not the same anymore.
Yeah, it's not the same. We're going like years ago as a Jets fan, and you're with Jets fans, and you're concentrating on the game. You're not there just for the tailgate. You're not there for fantasy football. It's like, it's like I got a Jets fan sitting there rooting for Prescott to put up numbers, and I'm saying, I can't. I can't do this no more. The NFL, they've and it's not just the Jets. They've ruined it.
Mm-hmm.
They got so money hungry and greedy, and they got in bed with the gambling. And I know a lot of people enjoy it. I get it, but it's not the way it used to be, and it's not because I've gotten older. It's changed.
It's changed. Yeah.
It's changed. Going to an NFL game live has changed.
It is. I'm not big into gamble. I don't gamble at all. I'm like you. I just want to see my team win. That's all I want. I don't care about gamble. It takes away from your love of the game as a fan when you do that. And it's crazy what the NFL has become now with all the betting and just everything. And you're right. I think once the ticket prices come in, here's a question, because I did think about this, and this is really going to somewhere where do you ever see the Jets like not being a franchise anymore, kind of like the Seattle Supersonics or even the Houston? Well, I know the Oilers moved, but do you see the Jets actually being non-existent? Because if you're going to keep losing all the real fans, the season ticket holders and things like that, do you see them and they continue to lose? Do you ever see them disappearing?
No, because I see Woody grooming his oldest son to at some point take over his franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that's ever going to happen. But I do know that approximately 3 or 4 years ago or 5 years ago, my tickets were $95 and they're $155 now. I'm probably going to be $165. And nobody twists my arm. I'm happy. I used to be happy to pay the money, but now I've been having second thoughts, because if you keep on putting out a product like this, why am I throwing out my money?
Yeah, it's crazy. It really it's a shame for all the real fans, and I know it's not on purpose by Woody. I know he wants to win, but it's just. Yes. There's just something there. They just can't get it right. I don't know what it is. I mean, have you thought about following? Because I know you followed basketball last year with the Knicks at the end. Have you thought about focusing on the Knicks? I can't wait for basketball season. Have you thought about looking at the Knicks to distract from this?
No, I didn't. But I am kind of starting to follow a little Wagner college football. at least these kids, they're playing for the love of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's, it's not the greed of the NFL. It's like, the only good thing about this Sunday is our misery should be over by lunchtime.
Exactly.
At least if it's a decent day, you might be able to go out. I mean, once again, in the NFL, you never know from week to week. I mean, are the Broncos possibly going to have a major letdown and the Jets beat them this week?
Anything is possible in the NFL. I know they do say that, but I don't see it. I really don't.
I don't see it either. I just don't. I don't see it. I think they come home very dejected. And you got to remember something. They've been in London. They got there last night, so they're spending the entire week there. All their body clocks are completely out of whack now because they're on London time.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get home if they fly out Sunday night or Sunday. If they're probably going to get home Monday morning, I would think, or Sunday, or whatever it is. And then they're going to need 2 or 3 days to get their bodies adjusted to, regular time. So, and they hit the practice field Wednesday or Thursday. They're not going to have a regular full week of preparation for the Carolina Panthers.
No.
So I'll give you a twofer. I think if they get blown out this week, I think they lose to the Panthers.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like that regardless anyway, because the Panthers have been playing well. The Jets, they just don't even look alive. And those points that they scored in the second half, I know Justin Fields had the touchdowns there to make it look like it was closer than it was. It wasn't as close as the score told you it was, and his statistics, it just wasn't.
Nope. And you know who I feel bad for? Would you be shocked if they trade Quinn Williams at the trade deadline?
I would not be. I was thinking that they probably should at this point because you're just wasting his career. And it's just, he's even been vocal about it. He's like, another rebuild? Yeah, well, Quinn, you're going to be going through another rebuild because you signed another contract.
Yeah, I could, like I said, if they're like 1-7, 0-8, I could see Quinn and Bruce Hall getting traded. I could see both of them getting traded. I could.
Yeah.
I could see that. And I really feel bad for Garrett Wilson because he's playing his heart out. He's trying. He's saying all the right things for the most part. He's trying hard. He's a really, really good player. And basically, what's he in year 3 or 4 right now?
Mm-hmm.
And he signed a 4-year deal, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, by the time he's done with his Jets contract, he's going to be on the back end of his career. So, basically, he's not going to. Chances are he's never going to sniff the playoffs.
Yeah, it's sad. It really is. Unless he fights his way out of the contract. You never know with players nowadays. A lot of them want to fight their way out of the contract, so they say things, force themselves to get traded. You kind of like what you saw with Parsons getting to the Packers. You see how players are now, but it really is unfortunate with Wilson. I know he's actually been playing well, and that's the only positive you could really take. Lazard just non-existent. I mean, I still can't believe that contract. And how about Rodgers? We might be seeing Rodgers lead the Steelers playoffs. Deep into the playoffs, and they're going to probably win the division.
You know what's the most amazing thing? And I just talked to my wife about this yesterday. And I think we're both on the same page with Rodgers. I never wanted him in the beginning. I wanted to get rid of him. I didn't think they treated him fairly. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're paying the price for making him fly across country to tell him he's fired in a 30-second, meeting. But maybe if Glenn didn't think that Rodgers would make it hard for Glenn to put his, hand on the culture of the Jets, maybe he felt Rodgers was too much of a distraction. Maybe if Glenn approached it differently, and said, you know what, let's draft Dart. Let's have Rodgers for another year. Dart could sit. Okay, we have some pieces in place. At least we could be somewhat competitive and rebuild at the same time. But I think he didn't want any distractions with Rodgers around. And maybe we might have been better off keeping him.
It's very possible. It really is. It's crazy how now our perspectives change once we see what was actually chosen to be on the field. It's crazy. It really is.
And I read today, Lazard didn't even make the trip as of yesterday or today to London. They left him home for personal reasons. Well, what is it? Does that mean he's getting traded at the end of this week or during this week? Is that what that means?
Maybe he's going to the Steelers.
He could.
He could.
I mean, could you see Lazard and Rodgers holding up an AFC Championship trophy this year?
Yeah, you could. You imagine that? I know Zach Wilson leading the Dolphins to the playoffs and him beating the Jets on his way there. I know that you said that you would just wave the white flag at that point. Is that another white flag moment?
Yeah, the jet flag will come down, the white flag goes up. I would take a white pillowcase or a white bed sheet or something and put it up and take the flag down. I think that I would. If actually, I'm going to take a picture. I don't know. I know you do the video, which is your show. If they happen to lose to the Broncos and Panthers, the white flag will go up, and I'm sending you a picture of it.
Yeah, I'll show it. I'll put it out. We can show it. Show it to the audience.
I give up. I throw my hands up. And you know, I'm kidding around a lot, but it's just, what else are you supposed to say? I don't want to bury them. I don't want to, just keep on pounding into the ground. But you got to show me something. Just give me just something.
A pulse.
Go out there this week and lose 23-20 on a late field goal. I'll be happy.
Yeah. That's all we want. We just want competitive football. That's what I told you when we were texting. I said, that's all we want is competitive football. And we don't get it. We never get it.
No. Now, let me hear. I don't know if you watch college football. I really don't, unless there's somebody very special I want to see. I mean, are any of these quarterbacks really, are they the answer?
I mean, from what I've been reading, it's kind of been the same page as you, is that they're not. I heard that Manning is actually not. I'm hearing reports that he's actually not that good, and I thought he was probably going to be a prospect potentially, but yeah, I'm hearing the same things you are, that these quarterbacks just aren't that good.
It's unbelievable. It's almost becoming where, excuse me, if you're a quarterback, go to the Jets, let them mess you up, and then you're guaranteed to hook up with somebody else, and get your career going. I mean, you got Donald, you got Geno. Okay, we should have signed Baker Mayfield when he was a free agent. Look what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Flacco, I know what he is. I get it, but he's had success after he's left the Jets. I mean, he's won more games than the Jets have won the last 2 years.
He has, yeah. Remember he burned the Browns game. That was hard. Remember that? It was all rainy.
Oh my
goodness.
It was
horrible. That was one of the worst games I've ever seen.
It's awful. It really is awful. It's just, it's crazy. But, and the GM, it's amazing. The media, they don't write articles about him. They don't talk about him.
Nope.
Talk show hosts don't talk about him. But look at the draft class that he's taking. Now, I like the potential of Malachi Moore. At least he's starting to play. The guy Smith, the receiver, I mean, what's it to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Taylor shows like he has potential. I like that. Okay. Member was having a good year until this week. So what he didn't do much in the free agency class. I like the trade for Phillips. But what has he really done to establish himself as a general manager?
He hasn't done anything. There really hasn't been any exciting moves and signings. It really just hasn't. There hasn't been any presence there. Yeah, you're right, and they don't talk about him. This draft class and this offensive line is horrible. It's and really this is supposed to be. They've spent so many assets within the first round the past couple of years on this line, and it's complete garbage.
Well, you know what I think it is. They run block very well. I think the reason they pass block so poorly, and believe me, I don't break down, the 22 tape or anything like that, but you double team Wilson, and you really don't have much else to worry about. So you could blitz, you could rush six. I mean, there's only so many men we could block. So I think the offensive line, when it comes to pass blocking, is getting the brunt of the abuse because of the lack of weapons we have.
Yeah. It's they need another receiver. When we spoke about that, that was one of the main issues with this team. I mean, now we can go all across the board with the issues, but yeah, that was one of the big things. I kind of say it all the time now. As of recent games, I said the Jets need their DK Metcalf, because I feel as though Garrett Wilson is a good speedster receiver. He's kind of on the short side. You need that tall target like a DK Metcalf.
Well, that's almost like when we had Holmes and Braylon Edwards.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep.
And then actually, I've always compared Garrett Wilson to Santonio Holmes. Same body size, same type. They look like the same players.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Garrett Wilson needs. He needs a big, strong receiver like Edwards on the other side.
Yeah.
And, listen, what do I know? Maybe they're just evaluating the roster this year and they're going to make a big move next year. But they may not be around to make a big move next year.
No. Rex Ryan might be back. I don't know. I would love to see it, but I don't know at this point. It's just nothing works out.
I haven't heard any of his comments. Has he commented on the Jets?
I think he said I think the only thing I've seen is that they just look undisciplined.
Oh, he has said that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what I read online. I don't know if it's 100% sure or not, but I did see a comment of him saying that they look undisciplined.
Yeah, because at least, to me, and I'm not on social media, it seems like once he didn't get that Jet job, at least on the airways, he's kind of disappeared. To be honest with you, I wasn't even sure he was working.
Yeah, remember he was campaigning. He was going all over the radio when
he was begging for it. And I'll never forget it. I don't remember what show. I know it was on Rothenberg show, but I don't remember. I guess it was towards the end of the search. We must have interviewed about 20, 30 coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember him saying they'll regret the day that they didn't hire me as a coach if I don't get the job. And you know what?
He's right.
It's starting to sound like he was right.
Yeah, it is. They're right. It really is. I think they're going to regret it that they didn't bring him back, because every coach that they pick is just horrible. It really is.
It is. I don't know how this is going to play out. So after we got the Bengals and the Panthers, and after the bye, I know in no particular order, we got the Pats twice.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Bills at the end of the year that may or may not be playing for anything. We got the Falcons and the Browns. We got the Saints. I mean, we got to figure they're going to win three games, 4 games, 3 games, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not sure what he's going to do.
I don't know. He's definitely got his hands full here with this team, I'll tell you. I don't know what he's going to do.
I mean, you think if it really goes really, really south, do you think that the fan base and people not renewing tickets, do you think it's going to force his hands to let these guys go?
I think so. I think once you kind of put up a protest like that, where the fans don't even go to the games and they don't renew their tickets, I think that's going to really speak volumes. And Woody's like, yeah, I'm really going to have to step in here, get rid of this new regime and try to get this right for once.
My God. And once again, he'll have to go for another search party. I mean, he went the first, remember that Kornheiser group or whatever that group was? He hired these professional guys. I forgot I can't even keep track of it anymore. Because that was the first group. Then he brought in Ron Wolf, and he brought in Wolf, and who was the other guy that they picked McCagnon and Bowles.
Was it Heimerdinger, I think his name is?
No, Heimerdinger was that was the guy. He was an offensive coordinator for Jets in 05. But Tannenbaum was the third group to lead a search party to hire, a GM and a head coach. Well, who's he going to hire now?
Who knows? Maybe we should change the hiring party again. I mean, I liked when Tannenbaum was GM. I think it should be Tannenbaum. We talk about it all the time. Tannenbaum and Rex, that was when things were really on the up and ups, and then they got rid of Tannenbaum, brought in Idzik, and it went downhill from there.
Yeah, but how could Woody hire, Tannenbaum as a GM if he just brought me, 2 guys that are, making this thing look like a clown show.
Exactly. Yeah, now his judgment is questionable. So now is he going to draft the right players? It calls everything into question now.
I think the two big things, John Harbaugh, if he gets let go of Baltimore, I think Rex is thrown back into the equation. You throw John Gruden in. I can't believe we're talking about coaching change.
Yeah.
But there's nothing else to talk about. What else is there to talk about?
Nothing. Yeah. Well, we didn't get into the allegations. I mean, we really don't have to get too deep into it, but with the front office, because that broke on the radio this weekend.
And I'll tell you, that really hit home because not that I socialized, but I know all these people.
Wow.
And it blows me. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, it's just another stain on this organization, and it just they need something to just take the bad mojo away. They really need something to just clean up this jinx.
Maybe they should change the name and change the uniforms again. And, I don't know. Go back to Hofstra. Just do something. Just it's like ever since they went to New Jersey. Let's see, Rex was up in Cortland in 2009 and 2010, so I can't give Florham Park. Maybe it's the grounds of Florham Park. There's something bad in that building or something. Maybe it's got to get exterminated. Maybe they got to sell it and move somewhere else. Maybe that's what they got to do.
Maybe they got to try something at this point, because it just seems as though everything is just tainted and everything just goes into the wrong direction. I've never seen anything like it.
Nope, it's not working. It's just not working. It's I know where the New York Yankees used to have a minor league baseball team down here where you could get the ferry on Staten Island.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that they converted the field. They play high school games there. Maybe Woody should just move the team over there, have 25,000 people over there watch a game. Just change the mojo. It just something drastically has to be done, because clearly what they do, I know they try. I feel bad for the guy because he spends a fortune. He wants to win. He tries everything he possibly can, but nothing seems to work.
No, nothing works. Nothing works. It's you can't make it up, and it's just year after year, it's the same story.
It really is. But so, give me a prediction. Give me a score for Sunday.
Oof. I think it's like low 20s. Well, it could be like I think it could be like a 24-14 game, maybe 2 touchdowns for the Jet. Maybe. I remember the last time they played in London was against the Falcons, and that was a hideous. Was that the last time they played in London? That was a hideous game.
Well, they played there. Who did they lose to last year? The Vikings. They lost to the Vikings.
The Vikings. That what it was. Then it was the year before that they played the Falcons, because that one was Wilson was in the game.
Yeah, that was also a bad one. Yeah, I'm going to go something like give Denver, I don't know, 23-16, something like that. I don't know. I don't think this is going to be a high scoring affair. No. I think these trips to Europe take their toll on these teams.
They do. Yeah, I think that's it. It's going to be a low scoring game, but the Broncos come out victorious, unfortunately.
Yep. Hey, Hackett isn't on the Broncos. No, he wouldn't be on the Broncos squad. Where was Hackett, by the way?
Hackett. Yeah, that's a good point. I haven't even really checked in on where he was since getting removed. Yeah.
Somebody told me that I think he's a consultant with the Packers.
I wouldn't be surprised, because that's where he was prior to the Broncos, so could have went back there.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be, and of course, Salah's parading up and down the sideline,
with the Niners.
Doing what he does best. So, good for him.
Yeah.
But, so be it. So I guess, hopefully we'll talk after the bye. We'll see what the story is, but just hope for the best. So I hope I don't have to send you that picture.
With the pillowcase.
It would be funny, but it's very depressing.
It is.
It really is. But keep on wearing your green, and I hope for the best.
Yeah, that's all you can do. We just got to keep hoping for the best, and let's see something positive. Anything competitive football. Let's see it.
Yep, the best player on the team is the punter.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
He's the most consistent. Doesn't make mistakes. He's pretty good. Watch over. For shanked 3 punts in London this week, but
Yeah.
no. But he's been good.
Yeah, he has been.
He's been good. So take it with a grain of salt and enjoy the game. And I'll give you one word of advice.
Mm-hmm.
Eat your breakfast before the game. Don't eat during the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's better when it's down before. It's hard to digest it while you're watching.
You're right. Yeah, that's the best advice that you could take when watching the Jets on Sundays for the past few years now. You could even say decades, but it's been a while.
It's been a while. Well, enjoy the game, and we'll talk soon.
Enjoy the game, Ira. We'll talk soon. Thank you for calling in, as always.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Take
Bye-bye.
care, Ira. Bye-bye.